All right, let's dive in. We're talking about a massive, and I mean massive, turning point for artificial intelligence. The entire game is changing. The stakes are just unbelievably high, and it is all happening right now.
So, to wrap your head around the sheer scale of this, just look at this number $1.5 trillion. That's what the world is on track to spend on AI just this year. This isn't some niche tech corner anymore, it's a global economic engine. And this particular moment in time, it's really being defined by three huge shifts that are all happening at once. We're seeing these epic conflicts break out over the hardware that powers AI, the software that brings it to life, and, maybe most importantly, the way you and I will actually interact with it. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with that hardware consolidation, then jump into the rise of what's called agentic AI. After that, we'll look at the crazy race for the next user interface, tackle the thorny issue of governing all this, and then wrap up with some key takeaways for all of us. Okay, first up, the hardware. You know, the fight for who wins in AI used to be about who had the fastest single chip. Not anymore. Now it's about controlling the entire data center, the whole stack. And this has turned into a massive geopolitical showdown. On one side, you've got Nvidia, and they are playing a long game to build this proprietary ecosystem that, frankly, is almost impossible to escape. And on the other side, you have Huawei building a totally independent, full-stack alternative. Their goal is complete technological sovereignty. So two titans, two completely different visions for the future. And Huawei's strategy is just incredibly thorough. They're not just selling pieces and parts here. They have built this complete three-layer system. It has an AI brain for managing everything, advanced connectivity to make it all super efficient, and of course the raw high-performance hardware. It's a direct head-on challenge to the entire Western-dominated stack. And if you want to see just how much the power has shifted, this is the perfect story. 20 years ago, Intel's board apparently passed on a chance to just buy Nvidia outright. Can you imagine? Fast forward to today, and Nvidia is pumping $5 billion into Intel. They're essentially turning an old rival into a partner, neutralizing them as a threat, and gaining access to their massive ecosystem. It's just a stunning, historic reversal. All right, so let's shift gears from the hardware to the software, because the whole conversation is moving beyond just thinking of AI as a clever tool. Now we're talking about AI as an actual autonomous worker. And this is what's being called agentic AI. And I want you to forget about asking an AI to, write a single email for you. Think bigger. Think of an AI that manages your entire email marketing campaign from strategy to execution to analysis all by itself. It's a fundamental move from a helpful assistant to an autonomous agent. And this is not some science fiction concept. It is happening right now. Huge enterprise companies like Oracle and SAP are already deploying these agents to automate entire business functions. We're talking HR, IT operations, back office stuff, all aimed at driving real, tangible financial returns. The capabilities here are just accelerating like crazy, especially in an area like software development. The brand new specialized GPT-5 Codex model. Look at that jump in accuracy on really complex coding tasks. It's a nearly 20-point leap over the base model. That is a massive, massive deal for anyone who writes code. But, let's keep our feet on the ground. As one developer put it so perfectly on Hacker News, these tools can be brilliant one moment and mind-bogglingly stupid the next. It's a powerful and kind of funny reminder that human judgment and oversight, they're more crucial than ever. So that brings us to our third major conflict, and this one might be the biggest of all. It's the race to define what comes after the smartphone. This is a high-stakes, winner-take-all battle for the next great computing interface, this era of so-called ambient computing. And right now, we've basically got three camps, each with a totally different playbook. You have Meta betting everything on wearables, like their smart glasses. Then there's Google, trying to leverage the software dominance it already has through the browser. And then you have OpenAI, making this radical bet on creating a whole new category of hardware from scratch. But actually building this future, it is incredibly hard. I mean, at a recent event, Meta's AI glasses had this spectacular failure during a live demo. And you know what the problem was? It wasn't that the AI model was dumb. It was that their own servers crashed. It just goes to show you, the real bottleneck here isn't just making a smart AI, it's building rock-solid, reliable engineering to support it. So all this incredible innovation, it leads to the one question that always comes up. Who's in charge here? The tech is moving so unbelievably fast that regulators are basically walking this tightrope between trying to encourage progress and, making sure society is protected. In the US, the main approach right now is what's being called light touch. You see it in proposals like the Sandbox Act, which is basically designed to let companies bypass certain regulations to speed up innovation and make sure America stays ahead of the competition.
But this relentless focus on speed, it forces us to ask a really critical question. What's the cost to society? When we decide to prioritize innovation above everything else, who gets left behind in the dust? And that question leads us to the very real and very scary risk of a new and much deeper digital divide. The danger is that without some really thoughtful policies, AI could just become this private advantage for a select few, massively widening the gap between people who can leverage this tech and people who can't.
So, now that we've laid out these huge battlegrounds, what are the key things to take away? How do we even begin to navigate this completely new world?
Well, for one, the smart money is spreading its bets. Savvy investors are now looking way beyond just the big, flashy foundational models. They're putting money into the entire ecosystem, the infrastructure, the developer tools, the real-world applications. It's the classic picks and shovels play in the middle of a gold rush. So let's make this really actionable. If you're a leader at a company, it's time to stop just experimenting and start strategically automating core parts of your business. If you're an investor, you should really be focusing on those enabling layers we just talked about. And for policymakers, you've got to balance those pro-innovation policies with serious, robust investment in digital equity and literacy for everyone. And that leaves us with one final and I think really critical question to chew on. The choices we are all making today about the hardware, the software, the rules, they are literally building the empires of tomorrow. The only question left is, in this new world that's being created, who gets to be a citizen and who will just be a subject?